Last week, we had Sheath Underwear's Robert Patton on the show to tell the story of how he was serving our country over in the Iraqi desert and came up with the idea for the pouch technology in his underwear. Literally cutting up fabric and showing it to their tailors out there and said, hey, make this for me. It was a really amazing story. I highly recommend you go check it out so you can see how this underwear was created. I know I joke around a lot on the podcast about it, but it really has changed my life. It's the only underwear I use now. Go to sheathunderwear.com. Use our promo code RRBG and save 20% and say goodbye to bunched up boxers and horrible fabrics that'll only irritate you even further. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the RRBG podcast. I am here with Chef Chris Binotto. Binotto.
You got it. It's me, Binotto.
Yeah. Dude, I grew up around Italians in Jersey, so...
Hell yeah.
I have all that in my blood. When I saw Sopranos, I'm like, wait, that's my uncle.
Yeah. I know that guy. Hell yeah, man. I'm from Detroit, and we got a pretty big Italian population over there too, man.
Are you still in Detroit? Well, no, you're here now. You're in California.
No, I'm out in Cali. Yeah, I'm out. I live in Venice Beach. Nice. I've been out in California on and off for like 13, 14 years now.
Wow. How's Venice, man? Has it bounced back? Because I went by not too long ago during the pandemic, and it was a straight up Mad Max homeless encampment. It's
rugged, dude. It is so rugged down here, and it's like, honestly, like I try to go for bike rides every day, right? I go to what's it called? Marina Del Rey.
Marina Del Rey, yeah.
I go to Marina Del Rey instead of going down to Venice because I can't deal with that shit anymore, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
It's ridiculous, man. And, just goes to show what our boy Garcetti and Newsom and, what our all good homies are doing for us, right?
Yeah, I mean, what happened? Weren't we going to recall him? Isn't that like a thing that's happening?
I signed that fucking piece of paper, bro. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. I mean, it's just so sad. California, I'm originally a Midwesterner, but it seems like I've been out here for 13, 14 years. It seems like California always votes against themselves, man. For some reason, the majority vote out here, like, always votes against us. Like,
that's crazy.
High-speed rail, for example, like, hasn't it been long enough? Don't we? Sorry, let's not get all into that shit.
No, but man. It's true, man. It's true. There's so much shit. I love it here. I've only been here 4 years.
Okay.
I'm from originally New Jersey, and then Miami for like 20 years.
Oh no shit.
Which was 19 years longer than I wanted to be there.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Oh my god, dude, that place, it's pure chaos. It doesn't even feel like it's part of the United States. Like, it's just it feels like TJ.
TJ.
Yeah, like TJ. It's ridiculous, dude. I mean, there's the party. If you were to set your mind to party mode when you're there, it doesn't end.
Yeah,
never. It's not like, oh, we're partying for 4th of July. No, it's like the whole year. There is 24/7.
Let's party.
Yeah, dude. I remember falling into that pothole, because I'm just like just hanging out with some people, and they're like, "Hey, man, we're going to this after party." I'm like, "Guys, it's 2:30 in the morning. What after party are you talking about?" They're like, "Yeah, this other club opens up. It's underground. Yeah, like." Know a code. I'm like, sure, whatever. There's no sign on the door. It's only like a red light bulb. I'm like,
right.
There's something going on somewhere in Florida.
Yeah, always.
And also here in LA. I mean, I've been finding that out. Like I said, only 4 years here, but I've been finding out that there's some underground shit going on here.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, there's punk shows happening under bridges that are being raided by cops. I'm like, what the? My friends, like, I have a friend of mine that he invited me to this show, and I'm like, no, dude, I'm 40.
Right. Like, I can't get in the pit no more, right? Like, yeah.
I want to sit in the back with the super stone, just kind of like,
Yeah, I used to do that shit.
I'm like watching guard. Like if somebody gets out of hand, I'll jump in and grab somebody by the collar, move it back. You know, like, but I'm not jumping in. I'm not jumping in. You know.
Right.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot, dude. Did you used to mosh a lot back in the day?
Oh yeah, dude. Like growing up in Detroit, I was huge into like the '90s gutter punk scene. You know, so I was 7th grade going to like Rancid shows, Anti-Flag, all that kind of stuff when I was a kid. Pennywise, Bad Religion, and that was like young, you know. And then I sort of mellowed out once I started smoking pot a little bit, you know, older. And I mean, honestly, now I listen to a little bit of everything, man.
I see.
I just can't do. Being from Detroit, you know, I mean, we do huge dubstep, techno, metal, hip hop. I mean, Detroit's a huge, epic music culture, you know?
Yeah.
So definitely so much influence. Obviously, Motown and jazz, blues. It's just very influential city for music, which is cool.
You know what's funny? When I think Detroit as an outsider, as an East Coast, now West Coast guy. Yeah. Detroit is, when I hear Detroit, I hear D12.
Hell yeah.
That's what my brain does. It goes, wait, D12.
R.I.P. Proof, baby. You know, you got to give it up, man. Yeah. I mean, those guys were definitely ahead of the time. And, you know, M's always been a symbol out of that city, whether you like them or love them or hate them or love them, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Regardless, it's usually two ends of the spectrum. There's never anyone in between, you know, but like he's always been a staple for that city too. And you know, people like me growing up, I like to say, you know, I was like a speck of salt in the pepper, baby. But, you know, that's where I'm from. And I got along just fine, you know. And so that was definitely a huge influence. Obviously, I was the proper age coming up when he was just getting started and coming up too. How many songs
do you know every word to?
Oh man, we can go do karaoke without the words right now. We can do karaoke without the words. I got you on like pretty much most of the albums. That's maybe funny. Not the past couple albums, but like the classics for sure, dude.
Yeah. The last couple, I touch base, you know, like when Rap God came out, I'm like, what is this? You know, and I watched that. And then he did a Godzilla one, maybe. Am I saying that?
Yeah, he did. He's done. I mean, everything that he's put out recently has been pretty fire, especially like, you know, the ones that his company's pushing or whatever they're marketing, like what was that? The fucking Anter or what the hell was it? The one about the Rona 19, whatever.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Got them boys like a Rona. Take them right off the bat. That shit, right.
He's got it figured out. He's got it figured out, man. He's got he knows the flow that needs to happen to make money. That dude's gonna just make money with his mouth, and it's nuts.
Right. Exactly. You know, he's got the agility, the flow. I mean, you know, talk shit or love him. I don't know. It's pretty hard to beat him. Might as well just join him.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. You know, I hear people complaining. I hear millennials on Facebook like, oh, you know, he's just like an old, angry old man now. And I'm like, that's fine. I am too.
Yeah. Guess what, yo? He was a young, angry 20-year-old too. Mother, like shit.
People forget, man. Like, what do you think? Do you think I was born at age 40? Like,
right. Well, you know, that's the thing. No respect for the ones that paved the way, right? Come on.
Yeah, why? The road's already there. I'm not going to ask who put it there.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
Gonna just drive over it.
They could care fucking less these days. Goddamn shame.
So, all right. So tell me a little bit of how you got into being a chef, dude, because I've loved cuisine. I watch all the damn shows on Food Network, all of them. My favorite being the crazier ones like Cutthroat Kitchen or something like that, or where like the people are put in a bind, because just like the super high end French type shows where, you know, there's like I've seen this dude, I forget his name, but he does like a little spoonful and like He's like, does like a sniff, and I go, yeah, yes, magnificent. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's a whole other show.
Right. Oh, like Bizarre Foods or some shit, right?
Yeah. But so how did you get into that? You know, just overall, like ever since you were young, did you want to be a chef?
I mean, you know, actually, I started washing dishes when I was 15. Okay. You know, I wanted to buy a car when I got my driver's license, kind of thing. So that kind of lasted throughout high school. And eventually I started bussing tables, and I was a food runner, and worked my way into a prep cook by the time I was in college. Okay. And I actually went to art school. I went to a fine art school. So I did like metals welding, ceramics, glass blowing, all that good stuff. Nice. 3D art, you know.
Nice.
And I had developed, while I was developing my, you know, my fine art major throughout school, I was also developing my craft in culinary. So throughout those 4 years, I finally graduated, and I was just like, well, I don't really want to make pottery for a living.
Oh, no, dude, you don't want to be one of those dudes at the Ren Fair selling their handcrafted like ashtrays and pots and.
Oh man, maybe when I'm retired, bro. But like, you know, for life, like I got to do something for real.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I actually always thought it'd be cool one day to sort of bring those together and create my own line of like dishes and bowls and things like that to actually utilize at a restaurant.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll be able to actually use that to try and pay for it.
Hell yeah, you're definitely on your way, man. You were just on fucking Chopped 420. That's a huge deal, which I thought was fake. I swear to God, when I saw the ad, I'm like, this is a parody, right? This is from like SNL or something, you know? And then
right.
I look it up. I'm like, is this a real show?
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. It was real cool. Definitely an honor to be a part of, you know, and it's a real show. I kid you not, you know, they really make you open that basket and see what the fuck is this? And, you know, you got to go do it. There's no bullshit. There's no Hollywood magic when it comes to that. You know, it's like, yo, this is what you got. Go do it, boy.
That's good, man. I mean, you know, I used to do that to myself for fun, like at home.
Yes.
Like, well, I've got 4 ingredients I'm going to pick at random that I have in the kitchen and see what we can come up with. And I'll put like a timer on my phone. I'm like, let's see, 30 minutes. I'm going to go try and figure this out. But I mean, it never looks as beautiful as the you know, the dishes you guys put out. I'm looking at your dishes. I'm just like, what? That's a piece of art. Like, I don't want to eat it. How am I going to touch that? And I'm going to ruin it.
Thank you, man. Thanks. Yeah. That's, you know, obviously one of the big factors we go for as chefs. You know, visual appeal is huge. But you know, it was definitely interesting doing what we did on the show. You know, prior to this, I have a company called Cannabis Supper Club. We've been building us up for about 4 or 5 years now. We've been in business. My apologies. Yeah, so Cannabis Supper Club, we've been doing this for about 4 or 5 years now. We, hell yeah, rip. What we do is traditionally we do flower pairing. So just like a fine dining 9-course tasting menu where you get paired each dish with wine, we pair each dish with flour. So that is our take in the cannabis dining industry, you know, where most people are doing all infusions. We're really bringing, or have been bringing, something very different to the table. So definitely. Going on the show was very interesting because I learned right away, and I don't know if you watched my episode, but I learned right away off the first round that, all right, I really got to go balls to the fucking wall with like using bud in my dishes, you know, or as a real ingredient anyways. You know, I think that was the interesting thing. And ultimately since then has changed my mind about how to use cannabis.
Interesting, man. So did you do a lot to like experimenting at home, like making butters and different, you know, like how are you infusing the THC or the cannabis plant into, like, is it just flavor or is it, you know, to get you high? Like I'm trying to.
Right. So, well, that's kind of for me. Everything that I've done, I've made oils, I've made tinctures. That's with high grain alcohol. From that, you can make can of salt, can of sugar. So, you know, you go kind of down the pipeline from there. Once you can make an oil, you can kind of make any sort of fat infusion. You can do infused bacon fat, duck fat, you know, the world's your oyster at that point, my friend. And so I did experiment a lot of that stuff at home. And, but again, traditionally for my business, we did all pairings. So going into this competition, you realize real quick, they're like, hey, we need you to just go nuts with weed. Put it in everything, put it on everything. And that's not really traditionally how I am. But since then has definitely opened up the way I do things as far as, you know, lightly smoking things with raw cannabis flower or grating the flower into an ingredient or something, you know. I see. The other day I did a ají verde and I blended the cannabis leaves, Rainbow Road cannabis leaves into the ají verde and chopped some fresh canna leaves and tossed it into a pickled corn salsa on top of some Wagyu.
Jesus Christ.
So now, you know, walking away from the show, I've really taken, like, cannabis can be a true ingredient. You know, there's so much aromatics to it. There can be citrus, floral notes, etc. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, do you think it'll be like truffle, like how they do the shavings on top of
100 fucking %.
What is the new truffle?
Yes, 100%, bro. Yeah, sir, may I shave your OG Kush for you? Say when. Say when.
Dude, this is so mind blowing to me. Just in general, just the idea where we're at. Because man. You know, when I was in high school, getting weed was a mission, like a 2-hour, 3-hour adventure in a very shady neighborhood and hanging out at some dude's house with he's got 6 dogs in cages. And I'm just like, oh, can I get some weed, sir?
Not here.
So, to see
how much for a dime bag?
Yeah, I just want some weed, any of it, whatever you got before these dogs are. Who's gonna let them loose on me? You know what I mean? No, but it's crazy to come here. Like I came to California and walk into a dispensary. The most aggressive part of it was the security guard just sitting there, and he's not even aggressive. He's just chilling there. I just, you know, I get a little.
He looks aggressive, right?
Yeah, I back away a little bit, like, hey, what's up, man? But that's pretty much it. Like that's as aggressive as it gets. You know, I just walk into a dispensary, and there's a dude inside with a table. And it's like a beer sampling at a fucking supermarket. Yeah. And the guy's like, hey, man, would you like a dab?
Costco free samples.
Yeah. Like, would you like a dab? I'm like, I'm driving. What do you mean?
All the more reason for a dab, sir.
Bro. I can't. Okay, so I'm kind of, I've reverted. So I used to smoke a lot and to see how much, you know, how many dab, like how high can I get? But now I can't. I really like. I dabbed once. This is actually, it's related to cooking, so this is cool. I went to a client's place, like a spot that, you know, we sell beer to them. I was selling beer at the time, and the dude's like, "Hey man, you want to come upstairs and blaze?" I'm like, "Yes, please."
Yes, please.
we go upstairs, and I'm expecting him to just, you know, a joint, maybe a bowl, you know, with some flour, and the dude whips out the dab rig that I've never seen before. And I've never even seen it. And I'm just like, whatever, that's an interesting pipe, dude. And he's heating up a torch and, like, you know, blowing part of it. His tweezers with, like, he shows me. You've
never seen one before.
No, dude. He whips out this fucking rock hard, like amber, like the dinosaur mosquito from Jurassic Park is in it. And dude, he didn't tell me at all how to properly smoke it. He just like, here you go. I'm like,
oh shit.
all right. And I just took a hit like a bong, like, just all the way.
Right.
And immediately started coughing, like coughing. Couldn't even breathe. I was looking at him like, dude, what the fuck did you do? And he's like, oh, yeah, I should have told you not to hit it like a bong or, So I looked him right now. I'm like, dude, I have to go meet with a chef right now. We're going to his restaurant, and he's going to prepare meals while I decide which beer pairs best with this meal. And I can't even move my legs. Like, what do you want me to do? So yeah, that was the only time I've ever dabbed. I can't do it. I couldn't function. I sat at that restaurant, like just in outer space. Just floating back. The dude's making dinner, brings out dishes, and I'm just like, oh, like I'm not even admiring. He's doing these fancy dishes, and I'm like, oh shit, oh, like, so ridiculous, dude. So, but yeah,
like that shit could have been in and out for all you gave a fuck.
It didn't fucking matter. Does that tend to happen though with when you're preparing these dinners? I mean, I'm sure people try to keep their composure, but I'm guessing that you're stoned out of your mind at these dinners. Yeah.
Well, so we try to keep a nice progression going. So lately, what I've been doing with some recent collabs with all my 420 Chop 420 family, right?
Yeah.
Basically, I've been getting together with these chefs. We just had an epic event this past weekend. All 5 Chop 420 champions were there. 2 other finalists were there. And it was just an incredible event to have everyone in the same space at the same time, But what we've started to do is we are pairing and dosing. So we're going to space out the night a little bit where you'll smoke and then you'll have a couple that are infused. Now, generally it takes, I could be off, but I think it's like 10 milligrams for 2 hours for the average of a 175-pound person to kick in, right? So that's 175 pounds, 10 milligrams, 2 hours on average. All right. And I could be, but I'm pretty sure I'm spot on this. So if you look at it like that, it's like most of the time, and smoking will also enhance the effects of edibles. Okay. But generally, people will be feeling very, very good by the time they leave. They'll be feeling good throughout. But I don't think we're trying to like hit them and crush them at the beginning or at the end. We're trying to keep a nice, even pace throughout the whole evening, and generally can last about 3 hours with the happy hour, if you will, probably another hour before, maybe another 35, 45 minutes at the end as well, while people mingle and boogie on out,
Yeah.
But no, we don't try to crush anyone, and keeping it where it's a little bit of paired and a little bit of infused definitely helps a nice flow throughout the dinners too.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I definitely got to make it out to one of those because I mean, like I said, I'm a fan of cuisine like this, and I'm curious as to like.
Brother, anytime I got a seat for you. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Brother. What do you got going on? What do you got going on next Saturday, Sunday, bro?
Ooh, Saturday.
All right, I'm gonna keep you plugged in. I'm gonna hit you on the DM after this. Da woody boo. Man, I got you.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, dude.
No, for sure, 100%. That would be rad as fuck to have you.
Thanks, bro. For sure. I've done some. I mean, I'll film stuff. I'm trying to do more of that now, like filming while I do stuff outside. Because usually the show's just been this, but lately I'm like, you know what? We got to do something different. Like we're getting out of the pandemic era. These interviews are fine. They're good. Cause I used to do this show just audio and I'm like, that's kind of boring. Like,
right.
But
you want to see our crazy asses.
That's right. Yeah, dude. It's funny. We pitched a TV version of this to Food Network and the people were into the idea, like me traveling to a brewery with a musician and we eat and drink at the spot and we talk Like that was the idea of the show. And, you know, they liked it, and then the pandemic hit, and then nothing happened. So.
Oh, no shit, dude. No shit.
But I'll get that kick started.
Yo, if you planted the seed, it's there, dude. It's there. Just, you know, you just got to water it a little bit, baby. Yeah. That's it, you know?
That's how you do it, man. I mean, I'm assuming that's what you ended up doing. I mean, you're a Michelin star chef, right? Isn't that a big deal?
Well, so I was a chef d'honneur for Chef Graham Elliott. We won 2 Michelin stars 2 years in a row. So, yeah, I'm on the team of, you know, winning 2 Michelin stars. Was I the head chef? No, I'm not Graham Elliott. But yes, we did win 2 Michelin stars. I was a chef on the team. So fuck yeah, baby. That's what I say. Yeah. I earned that shit.
That's right. That's right. You worked on it. You were a part of it. But a lot of people don't understand that too. When you see when you meet a chef like this, you immediately think head chef, or like, you know, they're celebrity types, you know, like a Morimoto or you know, Bobby Flay type of deal.
I worked for Morimoto.
Dude. Yep. Which one? Which restaurant?
So I was in Chicago. I opened up a Chicago restaurant, worked there for 3 years. Nice. And I became his chef de cuisine. And kind of to your point, where I think you were getting at actually was, you know, throughout my career, I've always worked my way up to the sous chef or the de cuisine. And then no matter how amazing that restaurant or chef I worked for was, I would go to the next spot and start back as a line cook, work my way up again to sous chef or de cuisine, you know, over the course of a couple of years, so on and so forth. You've
paid your dues, man. You've paid your dues.
Over and over again, man, you know, and Morimoto is one of them. I came in as, before we were opening, actually, I was on fry. Okay, this was like before we were open, just practicing, right? I'm like, okay, look, I'm going to keep my mouth shut, whatever. I'm on fry, but hey, whatever. So one of the cooks in the next station just crumbled, couldn't get it together. I nicely and quietly was like, hey, okay, I got you, da-da-da, woo-woo. You know, so I help this person. Instantly, I get, okay, this guy needs to go over there. You know, by the time we were open, it was probably like 3-4 weeks after opening, I became the sous chef. About 4 months down the line, I became the chef de cuisine. Nice. You know, so it doesn't matter when you're at the top. You're always going to start at the bottom until that day you don't, you know. Yeah. And by the time I became my first executive chef after Morimoto, I went to Hollywood to open up a fine dining Asian fusion restaurant in Hollywood. And after that was kind of the how do you say, created this stability of like, all right, you never really have to go back to this again.
Right.
But I had done that over and repeat for so many years.
And that's important. That's so important, dude. I think, to me, that's important. You know, I like fast tracking only when it's like a very rare, exceptional human being that everyone stops and they're like, oh, that's a Jedi. Like, let's help that guy out, or a girl, you know,
right.
Like, you know, that, like, sometimes that happens. Right. But I think it's more respectable when you work your way through all of that, the years of putting in the hard work and sweat. Like, that's when you know your shit. If you're just getting into this, I'm sorry, but, you know, like,
100%.
You're in for a treat. Wait till you
100%, man.
Yeah, the 4 a.m. fucking mopping, you know, whatever, the kitchen in the back or whatever it needs to be because somebody didn't fucking do it, and, you know, you're opening the restaurant or something. Like, you need to know how to do that. You can't just be a you know, hey, I have a lot of money and I know weed's cool, so let's get into weed business. It's like, no, dude, you should probably learn about the business first. You know, learn about it.
Right. Well, and that's what it's going to take to be successful at anything. You have to pay your dues. You have to be open and willing to learn from the best of the best for a long time. You have to be willing and open to, you don't know shit, and keep a little bit of humility, you know, throughout your career and just life in general, man. I think if you're treat yourself as a sponge as opposed to a brick, you know, you can only grow and absorb. You know, bricks just crumble, man.
Yeah.
You know, and if you think you know everything, well, yeah, I mean, you know, hell, I'm just high. I just came up with that. I don't know. Sorry,
no,
bro.
it's beautiful. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense, dude. You know, I grew up in that weird, like, tough guy, you know, world in New Jersey because I literally had to fight, you know, in middle school and like super young. I'm fighting kids.
You gotta work.
Yeah.
Right.
You work and get a job as soon as I was legally able to, you know, like
my mom signed the papers, right?
Like, how do I get a job so I can make some money? Like, let's fucking, I need to work. Dude, I got a job offer once. I went to, I worked at Victoria's Secret.
No shit. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, dude.
What the hell did they put your ass doing in Victoria's Secret, man?
Dude, my wife hooked it up because her friend was a manager there. I was desperate for a job. I'm like, I need work, man. And I go to the interview, and it's a group interview, and it's 14 girls and me standing in the back like this. All of them have their hair done, they, you know, makeup, like they went out and got, you know, legit makeup and hair done for the day.
Right, they got ready for this shit,
and I'm there like barely shaving, just barely shaved, just kind of like, what's up? And they got to me, and she was like, so why do you want to work here? I'm like, I need money. Look, I'll work as hard as you pay me. How about that? The more you pay me, the harder I'll work. Let's go.
Yes.
And they were like, that's not how this works. I'm like, that's how it works for me.
The more you pay me, the harder.
Yeah, dude. Hey, look, I'll work my ass off within the limits of my salary.
Right. Yeah, of course. 100%, dude. Yeah. I wish I learned that one a long time ago.
Yeah, that's a rough one, dude. It's, you know, years of stumbling and like, oops, I ran out of money today. Like, I wonder how I'm going to make it to the next one. Let's go. And it's a lot of people right now, dude. I mean, there's well, actually, right now there are a lot of people just chilling with unemployment money. But it's time to get back to work, everyone.
Yeah.
Unemployment's going to run out.
Hell, man, I used the past year to launch my own brand new company called Embers and Ash.
I see that, Embers and Ash Co. Rustic fine dining events.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's it, man. So I'm huge into camping and just like crazy outdoor adventure, you know, big kayaker, big hiker, biker. So throughout the years, you know, we go out camping, and instead of just getting drunk, we decided to get drunk and cook food. Nice. So it's kind of been a hobby of mine for many years. And, you know, me and one of my sous chefs really started playing around with this type of cooking about 5-6 years ago now. And it slowly and surely developed into this idea. And once the pandemic hit, you know, it was really hard, man. Everything shut down. I was the corporate chef for the Beetle House prior to this, running 4 operations across the country in New York, DC, LA. We were about to open up a new location in Hollywood as well, right before everything hit. So, you know, that's what happened. We did that whole little reopening in July, right? Did that for a couple weeks, shut down again. That knocked the sail out of my wind out of my sails. You know, that really was just a huge hit to me. I'm just like, well, fuck, now we really don't know what's going on. You know? So I decided to, you know, I took a little break, and then eventually this idea just popped in my head. I've been thinking about it for years and said, you know what, let's bring this to fruition. Let's actually do this. And I created a business plan. I said, what is it going to take? Who do I need? How can I get it done? And it all seemed feasible. So I said, let's go.
Nice.
And now, honestly, brother, it's like living a dream, man. I love what I'm doing with Embers and Ash. It's when I'm working, when I'm cooking like that, it's not a day's work at all.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm now working with 2 farms up in Visalia. I have a horse ranch in Agora Hills. We have 2 properties in Kern River, and many more to come. But what we do is we basically have an open fire pit in the middle of a beautiful nowhere setting, and everything from service to the food and presentation is all fine dining. Very elegant, very top notch. You're just in the middle of the woods or in the river or, you know, things of that nature.
Interesting. So, I like that a lot. And also it just sparked an idea that I'm going to hit you up about after this podcast.
Yes. After this podcast.
Let's talk. I got some money making ideas.
Brother, I'm all about money making ideas, bro. Yeah. With our powers combined.
Fuck yeah, man. That's how you got to do it. People don't understand that. We have a very odd situation because of social media where our the younger generation is I mean, that's always the case, right? Isn't it always like my parents sucked and, you know, like their parents sucked?
Though. Like, I feel like the older generation, we always used to say like, they used to say like, the young kids are just so crazy. But nowadays we're like, the young kids are a bunch of pussies. So I think it's kind of changed.
Yeah, man. It has changed a little bit. Like kids
aren't crazy. There's a bunch of fucking pussies.
Yeah, because look, there's, you know, I'm a violent human being, but not in a negative way. Right? I love moshing. I love aggressive things and metal, and you know, I love
mosh can be that's all like festive. You get knocked down, everyone helps you up again. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's what I've always loved about it.
Show goes.
Yeah. You know, you get kicked in the head by people crowd surfing, you know, that happens.
Occasionally. Yeah.
But no, but dude, I'm super stoked for you. That's the way, man. Like that, and this is the way. Like,
this is the way, bro.
This is the way. I wanted to ask you. You have like 1 million movies back there. You're a big movie buff.
Yeah, man. I'm kind of a movie nerd and a horror nerd. Nice. Horror sci-fi in particular.
Okay.
Actually here in a punk rock, I got my Bouncing Souls. These are Bouncing Souls. They all signed, all autographed from my homie out in Denver. He runs like the Red Rocks, the Ogden, the Bluebird, all the theaters out in Denver. So he was one of the homies that I used to kick it with back in like middle school going to punk rock shows. He now books all the punk rock shows in Denver.
Very cool.
25 years later, you know.
That's awesome, man. Hell yeah. So what I don't want to, keep switching subjects, as I wanted to talk about more like movies with you, but I wanted to ask you before, like, how'd you get the call for Chopped 420? Like, who contacted you? Like, how did that all work out?
So I actually got like kind of hit up on 2 levels. Somebody, a producer hit me up on my Instagram, and then a producer also hit up Cannabis Supper Club on our company's Instagram.
Nice.
So I kind of was working, 2 angles there, which was nice. 2 different producers, and they handed me off to whoever, and got the process going, man. And
nice.
That's cool. Process was a lot. It was a little bit of something every day, every other day.
How long was the shoot for the show? Like, how many days were you on set?
On set. So I'm pretty sure I can say all this. So is basically, we had a day of travel, right? We had a day of biopack shooting, right? So pre-shooting, where I think prior, what they used to do is they used to come to your restaurant, right? Pre-pandemic, they used to go to the chef's restaurant and film there for a day. But so we had to have a full day of shooting prior. And then the 3rd day was finally the actual competition.
Word.
So,
okay.
Yeah, man. So overall, 3-4 day process. You bailing out of there. By the time the competition comes, you're wiped already.
Yep. Yeah, that's nuts, man. That's insane. Sorry. It's insane that the amount of work that goes into it. Like, I just think, I come from World 2 of stage production, so when I see shows like this, I immediately start breaking it down. I'm like, oh,
right. Start thinking about that.
I'm like, the loadout, like how bad is the loadout? How many people do they got there to load out the trucks and pick up all this equipment, all the lights? Like,
right.
Who's doing all this?
Yeah, dude. Well, it was a pretty awesome set. The set was really cool, and the whole team was incredible. Like, these guys have been working on Chopped for the past 15 years.
Right.
Most of these guys, I think, probably the one that had worked there the least was probably 7 years,
Nice.
So it's like they're an amazing crew, super professional, and just super cool. Know what they're doing, but the space was incredible. It was in Palm Springs.
It was outdoors, right?
Yeah, outdoors.
Yeah.
So really cool to see how they did all that and how they created that. And
that's such a, like, that even right there. Like, when I saw the trailer, immediately my production mind was like, oh, that looks like a logistical nightmare in the sand. Like, outside wind, all the fucking, if there's any wind, the curtains, like, what's going to happen? We got to keep that science in our minds. Like, where's the flames? Are they going to hit, a palm tree or something? Like,
100%. Yeah, man. I can imagine a logistical nightmare, but I think I'm sure they've done shit like this before, right?
No, yeah, for sure. They're professionals. It's a well-oiled machine for sure. Yeah. So what's next, dude?
For sure, man.
What's next for you? Like, just keep growing Embers and Ash, and do you have other projects that you're like working on that you want to maybe announce or talk about?
Let's see, man. Yeah, I mean, look, Embers and Ash is a big thing that I'm really pushing on. But right now, I got that steady flow of Cannabis Supper Club and the whole Chop 420 thing. I'm working on a lot of other collaborative dinners coming up with my boy Chef Nate Santana. He was the winner of episode 1 on Netflix's Cooked with Cannabis.
Nice.
So I got a collab dinner coming up with him shortly. I'm working on another 2 dinners with more chefs from Chop 420, 2 other Chop 420 champions.
Nice.
And so we're working a lot of those collaborative angles, really trying to branch out different locations, San Francisco, Las Vegas, and potentially Colorado for Cannabis Supper Club and all of these dinners. Other than that, I'm working on a couple other really cool projects I can't talk about right now, but you will definitely see me around soon. That's without a doubt, my friend. This space ain't going nowhere, baby. So if anything, you're not going to be able to get rid of me.
Well, dude, thank you so much for your time. Stick around after I do the closeout here so I can talk to you a little bit. But
yes, definitely, brother.
But hey, thanks for your time. If you guys are watching and listening, check him out. Go to his Instagram at Chef_Binotto. Binotto. Binotto.
It's a me, Binotto.
Binotto. Binotto, not Dinotto. So
yeah, Binotto.
So you have also the Embers and Ash on Twitter and Instagram. I guess all the socials, Facebook, all of those things.
Yeah. Embers and Ash is across all the socials. Embersandash.co or Embers and Ash Co. Check out, I got my own website, chefbinotto.com, embersandash.co. You can find me, Google me, baby. You'll figure it out some way, somehow.
Also at Cannabis Supper Club. At Cannabis Supper Club.
Cannabis Supper Club.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. That's easy to remember too, right? Come on now. We're the originals, the OGs. We've been doing this from the start. So anyone who says they're doing it now, they
posers.
Maybe.
Posers.
Yeah. I know. It's all right. It's all good. They say, what do they say about God damn it.
Don't worry, it was probably going to be hateful. Don't say it. Don't say it. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, no, I was trying to be positive, man. They say, like, when you copy someone, it's the best form of flattery, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. Impersonation?
Yeah, I don't know. So, man, I'm high, bro. I've been ripping while we've been talking, brother.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, hey, Thank you guys for watching. Please follow him on the socials. Look at all the things he's doing, man. It's really interesting. I love it. Be a part of it. Get up and go to work and fucking eat some amazing food. Get up.
Oh, yeah. Check me out. I got a lot of fun stuff going on, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for having me, brother. We'll talk in a second, eh?
All right, man. Cheers.
All right. Cheers. Holla.
All right. One of these. Cut.